So I was scrolling through shroomery lately, and I came by a thread that was about who and when someone's ready for DMT. And my specific opinion on that was anyone who's had a level 5 experience with psychedelics that aren't DMT. And specifically, I was talking about mushrooms. So for me, the first time that I had a level 5 experience with mushrooms was when I was 16. And I made a trip report about this. It was actually one of my very first videos about mushrooms. So that's like way back down into my videos. You can find it there. And I had an experience where I experienced ego death. So I thought I was literally dying, and I thought that something was enveloping me. And I came across this entity that I called everything, and I even drew it and had a depiction of it. After this experience, I didn't have experience with DMT yet when I had this experience, but right away I knew that DMT was going to be something like that. And of course DMT is more powerful, but that's probably as close as you can get to the kind of mental state that you want to be into to have that kind of experience. So for me, I would say that any sort of level 5 psychedelic trip, usually with mushrooms, and to have that experience, I had to take 5 grams ground into powder, and I drank it with orange juice, so it's a lemon tech experience. And I don't think, and I had to do it in silent darkness as well. That experience basically gave me the building blocks to be able to know what to expect with DMT, or at least how to handle it mentally and how to deal with ego death. And it needed to be in silent darkness because that's what gave me the ability to see this entity, that because I was actually seeing this entity while I was downstairs, and I was almost in a meditative trance state, and then I went to my bed, and that's how I found out about the silent darkness tripping, and then I never went back from there. But after that experience, it definitely I pretty much found DMT very, very soon after that, because I guess it assumed I was ready for the experience. I know that people say these things you don't find them, they find you when you're ready. And when I tried DMT, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for to get these powerful experiences. And I never looked back after that. I didn't need to mess with mushrooms or anything. With things like LSD, for me personally, I don't believe that it's a good prepper for the DMT experience and the type of ego death experience that you're looking for, since mushrooms is very close to DMT chemically, because mushrooms is 4-HO-DMT and DMT is just NN-DMT. They're very closely related molecules, so if you were to take an MAOI with DMT, it would be very close to the DMT experience, but still not quite there, as I mentioned in my previous video. So for me, I definitely believe that mushrooms are the building block to be able to handle the DMT experience. With LSD, I consider it more of a recreational drug. I don't really see much value in it in a introspective sense. I don't really think that it's a good prepper for the DMT experience. And I was hanging out with my friends recently, and they were doing mushrooms, but they do it in a weird way that I don't really understand, and it's basically low doses and with people and recreationally, so while you're chilling with people. And for me, like, I don't really indulge in that, because it's not my kind of thing. I want to do these in a introspective setting and be able to do some inner searching, and I can't really do that on low doses. They were telling me that these mushrooms were incredibly powerful, and they were taking in the dose range of 0.5 to a gram, but anytime I've taken a low dose, even I've taken even 4 grams, and if I didn't lemon tech it would do almost nothing to me. So either I have a very hard head, or I'm expecting a lot more from these experiences, because based on what they were telling me, they weren't really tripping like I like to trip. Like, I like to experience entities and have this whole ego death experience, but they weren't really looking for that. So I don't really think that someone someone who trips that way is really geared towards the DMT experience because it's so powerful and manifests so many things and basically changes who you are in a certain way. And I don't think that people who are dosing recreationally at low doses can really grasp the difficulty of the DMT experience. And obviously this is not completely, you know, science. I'm sure that if someone was really interested and they could have the experience, but you really need to you really need to know what you're getting yourself into. And I don't really think that doing low doses in that way just recreationally is a good prepper for something so intense and life-changing. I don't really think that it's the right kind of prep that you want to do for it. Certainly someone who's into meditation and things of that nature and have experienced ego death through those means and is really interested in Buddhist teachings and practices, I'm sure that they would be able to handle the DMT experience very, very well, even if they didn't have any sort of level 5 psychedelic experience. But for me, when before I even tried DMT, I had a solid level 5 complete immersive, terrifying experience that sort of changed my perspective and really humbled me and made me submissive to what the experience was. And after that, when I tried DMT, I was not completely thrown off guard with it, but I was still amazed by the complexity of the visions. But I knew what to expect in terms of a mental struggle because I've been through it before. And I don't believe that people can really understand that until they at least have the building blocks of a level 5 experience with mushrooms, because that's about as close as you can get to the experience. So that was my opinion on that shroomery thread, and a lot of people agreed with me. Some guy didn't agree and said that DMT is so far beyond mushrooms that nothing can really compare or prepare you for it. And I don't necessarily believe that. I know it's the most powerful one. I don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying that there are things that can prepare someone for having such an intense experience. And I believe that level 5 psychedelic experiences in silent darkness with mushrooms are able to do something, or are able to basically prepare someone for a even more intense experience like DMT or even oral DMT. So that's pretty much my opinion on it. I would love to hear your opinion on if you guys think that that's right, or if you think that even someone who's never tried psychedelics but is just really interested in DMT could try it. I don't know, maybe. You know, I'm open to hearing your experiences and opinions on that, and I will see you guys soon.